Good morning. All right, who will help join me in the pledge? Art, you'll help me? Guy? Sally, let's go. I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and good morning. Thank you. Welcome to the NAIOP Southern Nevada April breakfast program. My name is Cassie Catania Sue, and I am your 2024 chapter president. Thank you to everyone joining via Zoom. We will get started. For those of you here in the room, please make sure during the panel to write any questions that you have with the pad of paper and pen at your desk. And if you would like, raise your hand during the program. And where is Dan Tutland? Tutland, where are you? There you are. Tutland or Palmieri, Rod or I, somebody will grab the questions to compile them at the end. We will start Q&A at 9 a.m. and the program will conclude at 9:15. Today, like most months, we have a star-studded audience that includes some very special guests. I would like to recognize our elected officials that are in attendance today. I will call your name and please stand to be recognized. Thank you, Clark County Commissioner Jim Gibson. Clark County Commissioner Michael Knaff's office. Thank you. And Henderson Councilman Ward Jim Seebach. Thank you. We'd also, again, like to recognize any UNLV students in attendance today. So if you are a current UNLV student, please stand. Yeah. We love to see it. As a reminder, CRE Converge is a national NAIOP conference, and it is held here in Las Vegas this year, October 8th through 10th at Caesars Palace. Because we are the host chapter this year, there is a special price for all NAIOP Southern Nevada members. It's about $500 off the regular conference attendance fee. So it's $945 for members and $695 for developing leader members. So make sure that you sign up. The early bird registration link is open. You can register now and get excited for the tours that we are putting together and a great panel of speakers with awesome breakout sessions at conference. So would love to see it. Last year at conference, there was 56 people from the NAIOP Seattle chapter. So I sure hope that since it's here in our city that we have more than 56 people in attendance. Let's take a moment now to honor our President's Circle sponsors. They are a critical component to the success of our chapter. This year, we have 4 platinum sponsors. Special thank you to each one. Cox Business has supported our chapter for 21 years. Gatsky Commercial Real Estate since 2022. Martin Harris Construction since 2001. And Schnitzer Properties since the turn of the century in 2000. Thank you. We'd also like to thank our gold sponsors, Howard Hughes, Kimley Horn and Associates, Majestic Realty Company, Nevada General Construction, Panettone Development Company, Prologis, and Southern Nevada Water Authority. Thank you. Now please check the screen or the slides on Zoom as we recognize the remaining President's Circle sponsor levels. Our silver sponsors, thank you. Our bronze sponsors, thank you. And our copper level sponsors, thank you. If you are not yet a President's Circle sponsor, please make sure to see Rod Martin, Lisa Brady, or myself. We'd be happy to give you more information. NAIOP runs because of the high quality of the organization's committees, and we are very grateful for the committee members and committee leadership that really put their best foot forward to help drive the chapter. These committees are made up of volunteer members. Now let's take a moment, please, to hear our committee announcements this morning.
Hello, I'm Ellie Solomon with Link Technologies, here representing our amazing Community Service Committee. We're thrilled to kick off our first membership outreach event of the year, a supply drive for street teens. This incredible local nonprofit organization is dedicated to helping homeless, abandoned, and at-risk children right here in the Las Vegas Valley. We believe in power of the community, and together we can make a real change in the life of these young people. If you already donated, a huge thank you. Your help is greatly appreciated. If you haven't had a chance yet, don't worry, there's plenty of time to be involved. We have a handy graphic on the screen. It should be on the screen. We also have a flyer on the community service table. Please make sure that you grab it. We'll collect the donation items through the end of April. Let's come together and show our community how it's done. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Matthew Weinberger. I'm with Martin Harris Construction, and I'm here representing the DLI committee. Remember, DLI is an amazing program for any NAIOP members under the age of 35. Applications come out this month, and they're due in July. One recommendation, if you are thinking about the DLI program and to be part of this class, join a committee. Get involved. It really does go a long way during our review process. If you are part of a committee, we can see that you really want to be part of the NAIOP organization and see what goes on, and you get to meet more leaders, and it really does help with the process. Also, with the classes coming up, we are very, very grateful for anyone who sponsors the classes. If you sponsored a class last year, you're going to be getting a call within the next month asking if you want to re-up for this current year. And if we do have some openings, we're going to open that up to other people, and we'll send that in the newsletter. But again, applications come out this month, and they're due in July, and hopefully we'll have another great class. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Guy Gugino with MidFirst Bank. I am here for the golf committee. Our 32nd annual golf tournament is Friday, May 17th at Las Vegas Paiute Resort. We have one team set aside. We're sold out and we're on a wait, but we do have one team set aside for a member company who sponsors our $2,500 ride sponsorship. We'll drive you and your car home from the tournament to avoid drinking and driving, and we'll do that for as many of you who want to drink and don't want to drive. Or if you sponsor our $1,750 hole-in-one sponsorship, we will make the foursome available to you. We also have tee sponsorship available. We are looking for volunteers from NAIOP members and member firms, and we are collecting raffle prizes. We really need raffle prizes to make this tournament have value. So we ask that the raffle prize be of at least $100 value. We have an Amazon wish list, which we send out and we'll keep sending out. Also, for a lot of you people who have other business contacts, you don't have to be a member to provide a prize. So a lot of companies who may want to promote themselves may want to give a gift certificate or make a basket. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Art Green. I am with Geotechnical Environmental Services, and I'm really concerned about a lot of you. Really concerned about a lot of you.
Art, yeah. Does Sebastian have a sticker? Sebastian needs one.
All right. So now I'm no longer concerned about your wardrobes. Now you all look spectacular. But I'm not concerned about Ginny. I'm not concerned about Lana, because they are both going to go on May 2nd to the Aviators game. All right. Last year, I networked with more people. I collected more business cards and actually met people at this game than I did at the rest of NAIOP for the rest of the year. Not lying. I'm telling you it's true. We're going to sell out. We only have 2 sponsorships left available, so your time is running out. You need to register today. You need to sign up for a sponsorship today. When is the game, by the way? When's the game? Yeah, I know. You're all going to remember now, right? May 2nd. I will see you at the Las Vegas ballpark for NAIOP at the Aviators. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. I will be there. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you to all of the committee chairs and committee members for your hard work and dedication. It does not go unnoticed. If you would like to join a committee or have more questions about it, I'd be happy to talk to anyone in the room about committee involvement. I think I've served on just about all of the committees at this point. So let me know. Happy to talk to you about it. Each month, we also like to recognize our new members. If you have a red tag on your red ribbon on your name tag, please stand to be recognized. Welcome. In the last couple of months, we've taken time to recognize our longstanding members because I think that that is very important, and more information to come on something that the board might be drumming up this year to help those of us with less than 15 years of experience have more access to those with more than 15 years of experience within NAIOP. So today, this month, we do want to recognize all of the 10-plus year NAIOP members. So if your name is on the slide, that means you have been a NAIOP member for 10 years. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Thank you for all of your longstanding support of the chapter. NAIOP Southern Nevada is currently at 686 members actually as of today, which is awesome. We are top 8th now in the country. So if you are not a member yet and in the room, please reach out to any of us to get more information and to become a member. Micah, I saw you. Where are you? Micah over there in the back. He's our membership chair, and he would be happy to talk to you about becoming a member today. Thank you. Now, I'd also like to take a moment to thank our 2024 breakfast meeting sponsors: American Nevada Realty, Carpenter Sellers Delgado Architects, Cox Business, Gatsky Commercial Real Estate, Martin Harris Construction, McCarthy Building Companies, Envy Energy, R&O Construction, Southern Nevada Water Authority, Southland Industries, and our breakfast Wi-Fi sponsor, Schnitzer Properties. Thank you. And a special thank you to today's breakfast sponsor, Southland Industries. I'd like to introduce Corey Wallace, the principal engineer with Southland Industries. Welcome to the stage, Corey.
Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Thanks so much for having us. Southland has been in this market for over 30 years. We're located right across the street at Cameron Street, and we have both our offices as well as our fabrication facilities. Today's focus is the impact of, economics. And one of the things that's near and dear to me is sports. And the reason why sports are so near and dear to me was the T-Mobile Arena, for an example. We had an opportunity to build a structure that we had no idea would lead to our first major sports team. And I would also say that this team was the catalyst for all of the new pro teams that are coming to Las Vegas. Very, very exciting. I'd like to talk about what Southland does. I'd like to talk about we are a MEPF organization, that we are experts that focus on the full life cycle of the building. And the MEPF, really important, mechanical controls, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection. This means we provide support at the beginning of a project, so conceptual, when we're just thinking about what we may want to do, to the installation, commissioning, maintenance, and even when it's time to decommission a building such as Tropicana, when it's time for that building to terminate. Our in-house capabilities include engineering. So we do have licensed engineers, registered engineers like myself. We have energy services, construction, service and maintenance, and our project sizes range from a simple single sprinkler tenant improvement to large projects like the Las Vegas Convention Center, Resorts World, T-Mobile Arena, and the Sands Aviation Hangar. We're involved in multiple market sectors, which includes commercial, data centers, healthcare, industrial, sports and entertainment, and of course, hospitality. We have the luxury of lessons learned from projects across the U.S., and we're able to bring these lessons back to Las Vegas to support the local market, and quite often we're able to export that expertise out to other markets. Vegas is definitely at the center of a lot of innovative ideas in construction and engineering. I would like to thank you so much for your time, and we at Southland look forward to the opportunity to work with many of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Corey. Now continuing on with something that started, I think Reed's year or Hyam's year, every month recognizing a member of our chapter. Today I would like to recognize Megan McNerney for all that she does for the Community Service Committee and all that you do for NAIOP. I very much appreciate and value everything that you've done, and I know we've pushed a little hard on you this year as Community Service Chair, so thank you. She joined in September of 2019. She was the Vice President of her DLI class in 2023 and has been active on the Community Service Committee since she joined and stepped up this year to Chair. She was also a bus tour guide in 2023, and her team has been Spotlight Office Broker of the Year the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think it's like 13 or 14 in a row now. But I would just like to take a moment to thank Megan for all that she does for NAIOP Southern Nevada with a smile on her face. Thank you. And if we've not yet mentioned the amazing Programs Committee, thank you to all of the the Programs Committee members for all that you do. We are continuing with our amazing programs, and today is no exception. Reminder that at the end there will be a Q&A session. So again, you can fill out a question if you have one, raise your hand, and one of us will come around during the panel to get it. At 9 a.m. we will start Q&A led by Dan Tutland in the middle of the room there. I am very thrilled and honored to introduce today our moderator. Brooke Malone is somebody that I have known now for several years and would consider a friend. She is the Vice President of Investor Relations at the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance, or LVGEA, as so many of us call it. And she leads investor recruitment and funding strategy, and she has alignment with the business development teams. You've been there now 3 years in July. I say I've known, I think, since you started there. She has a background in community building and a knack for fostering partnerships and driving donations and innovation for LVGEA. When she's not working, you will find her experimenting with recipes, playing tennis, traveling, or, as I just learned this morning, if she has an exchange student this year. So very exciting. Welcome to the stage, Brooke. Thank you, and I'm very excited for today's panel.
AV, they can't hear me. Oh, can you hear me now? All right. So I learned this morning that I did not get intro music, so I'm feeling a little dull. So we have to start with like some kind of soul clap or Go Knights Go Raider or something. So can we get like a Go Knights Go in the building? We're gonna do it on a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can I get a Raiders? And my favorite, Aces. All right, that brings up the spirit a little bit. So before I introduce the panel, just to jump into a few things, we're going to bring them up, understand each of their roles, how they are planning on making a long-term economic impact for our community, ask them some rapid-fire questions that I did not prepare them for, take some Q&A from you all, and then we'll wrap up with the final question. Cool? All right, so first we're going to start off with Mr. Marc Badain. Marc Badain is currently the president of Oakview Group Las Vegas, Entertainment and Arena, leading a $10 billion integrated resort and arena project.
Any attention.
Most of us know Marc Badain for the 30 years that he spent with the Raiders, the last 7 as the president. Something you do not know about Marc Badain, he is a New York Times Wordle extraordinaire. Marc Badain, welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Lisa Motley. Lisa serves as the Director of Sports Marketing and Special Events for the Las Vegas Visitors and Convention Authority, also known as LVCVA, very often confused for LVGEA. Lisa led the team in securing some pretty pivotal events here, including the Pro Bowl, NFL Draft, Super Bowl, as well as the 2028 NCAA Men's Final Four. Something we do not know about Lisa, she has a Minnesota Gophers tattoo. I will leave it to your imagination where it is.
Go Gophers.
Last but not least, Betsy! We have Betsy Fretwell. Betsy is currently serving as a COO for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Most of us know her for her time with the city of Las Vegas and all the innovation that she brought to the city. She also led the charge for our inaugural Locate event. Tina Quigley, our president and CEO, often tells the story how we were, am I allowed to curse? Okay, we were scared shitless, and we wanted to quit, and Betsy, along with Jan Jones, did not allow us to. So Betsy, we appreciate you.
No quitters in this town.
Something y'all do not know about Betsy, she biked Tour de France.
I did not. I had an e-bike
Tell
going on
Betsy.
one leg, just saying.
Awesome, awesome. So welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome. So for each of you, we're going to start. I introduced a little bit, but we'll go down the road to tell us a little bit about your role and your organizations. So we'll start with you, Marc.
My organization is Oakview Group. It was started by Irving Azoff and Tim Lewicki, two pretty much legends in the sports and entertainment field. They initially started in programming, sponsorship, but really grew their ecosystem and have now gotten into construction and ownership of buildings around the world, and will be opening their 8th O&O property in Manchester, in England, in 9 days. So in the last 5 years, they've opened 8 facilities, 7 domestically, and then this is their first international, and they're looking to bring that level of innovation to the project on Blue Diamond that I know we'll talk about.
Excellent. And just for the audience, when Oakview Group builds these phenomenal arenas and huge complexes that they build, you all keep the environment in mind. That's something that I find phenomenal. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Certainly. So something that was very important to Tim, and when they did Climate Pledge Arena, aptly named, in Seattle, it was the first building with a zero carbon footprint, including some incredible innovations. Obviously, it rains a lot in Seattle. So they designed the building to capture the rainwater, and that's how they make the ice for the rink for the Seattle Kraken. It inspired the company so much that they created their own division called Goal, which now is being recognized and used by facilities in all of the different sports and all different facilities to come in and analyze your footprint and bring some more environmental ideas to your existing facility or any new facility. And that's something that, as a company, we're very proud of.
Excellent. That's outstanding. So Betsy, I know that F1 is also very keen to sustainability. So tell us a little bit about your role, and then we'll jump more into that a bit later. Tell us about your role with F1.
So I'm in a new position at F1 that they didn't have last year. So we're kind of building it out as we go. I'm a chief operating officer. I'm kind of like the market lead for our team. The Las Vegas Grand Prix is one of 24 races across the globe that F1 produces and hosts across the world. And Las Vegas, by far, is the premier race, in my opinion. Everybody's probably heard of Monaco. Las Vegas is going to displace that, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I know Lisa wants that to happen, and that's one of my goals. It's fun to be there, but it's fun to be in Vegas, as you all know. So we have a huge race that we put on. We've had some incredible results as a result of that. And we're here to stay. We're part of the community, and that's what I'm building out and putting on an incredible event that puts heads in beds and delivers a really incredible economic impact each year. So that's what I'm doing, or trying to.
Excellent. All right, Lisa.
I'm Lisa Motley. I'm the Vice President of Sports and Special Events for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. You know us better as what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We are both the destination marketing arm, and we own and operate the Las Vegas Convention Center. So that's kind of why we're an authority. Not because we're arrogant, because we're really good at what we do. But our job is to drive tourism, whether it's through leisure sales, airline development, et cetera. But I have the awesome responsibility of driving tourism through sports programming. And that's everything from, yes, the Super Bowl and the Final Four, but down to youth and amateur sports, volleyball, soccer, et cetera. So we run the entire gamut of that. And I think the important thing to note is we are funded about 90% by a hotel room tax. The other 10% is the operations of the convention center, that revenue. But we don't get 100% of the room tax. So let's say it's a scale of $1. I think we get 35 cents. Some of the money goes back into Clark County School District, some goes into Metro, some into the roads. So everything we do from an economic standpoint, yes, we just reinvest in the destination through sports, but we're giving back to the community with all that room tax.
Awesome. Excellent. So Betsy, we got some pretty amazing numbers that were published yesterday in our local publication. So based on the results from our inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix, we reported that $500.6 million in net visitor spending, $884 million. Did I say thousand or million the first
Million.
time? Oh, good.
You said million, I think.
Okay, perfect. $884 million in total economic impact and $1.5 billion with the B, y'all, for total economic impact, including F1 operations and capital investments. So can you tell us about not just the economic impact, but the entire impact, how you all got there for the inaugural F1 Heineken Silver Las Vegas Grand Prix?
Thank you. Yeah, extraordinary impact. I mean, no one else has achieved that. Lisa probably can attest to that level of economic impact for a singular event. Super Bowl came kind of close, but we're way up there together. And, you know, I think the Grand Prix from start to finish was a race in and of itself. Getting it ready for 23 for us to be on the world stage and make the absolute greatest impact was an incredible level of effort. And not just for our team and our contractors at Las Vegas Grand Prix. Some of your companies were contributors to the work that happened to build this out. But this company had to build out a 3.8-mile circuit. It has 17 different turns in that circuit. We did it on streets, which is not typical for an F1 experience. Most of these circuits are built exclusively for that use or use another sporting venue for it. So we did that all on Las Vegas streets. At the same time, Penta was helping us build another building, to build a 300,000 square foot building at the corner of Koval and Harmon. I don't know if you've been by there, but it's pretty majestic. I think you would love to come visit it, and we'd welcome you there. So we have a permanent facility there that people call it kind of the F1 headquarters of North America. That's pretty substantial when you think about it. All that happened in less than about 16 months. Now, I'm talking to developers who are out here. And the county, is there anybody from the county really here? I know I saw Tiffany. Oh, there's Commissioner Gibson. I always call him Mayor Gibson because when I worked for him, he was the mayor. Mayor Gibson knows this. Listen, we had to do some different things to get this race to happen. The county commission, the county staff, the sheriff, all of the Metro police officers who helped us. I mean, they had to bend every rule to make this thing happen so that we weren't a giant flop on the world stage. My hat is off to them. We could not have done it without them. Yeah. And it was not easy, but let me just say this. Because it wasn't easy and because everybody had to do this extraordinary level of effort, both on the public and the private side, to make this event what it was, the county's doing new things now. They're doing things differently. They're building out a completely new special events approach that Commissioner Gibson and others from the Board of County Commissioners or the county manager are building out. so that we can be that city of mega events, that we can be that region where mega events want to come, and we don't have the same kind of impacts that we felt as Formula One was building up to land our city on the world stage in a different way. I think we learned a lot. We're going to continue to learn a lot, but we are making better processes out of what we learned last year. So things are going to be different this year. We're way ahead of the game. All those traffic impacts that everybody was like, oh my gosh. I mean, people who are trying to get to work really didn't have a good way to figure out how to get to work, you guys. Some of them work for you. That is not okay. So we're going to be working to enhance communication. We don't have to do all that road work. Sorry, Penta, but we're not rebuilding all the roads again this year. We don't have to take out medians. We don't have to do all that stuff that we had to do last year to create a world-class race circuit on the Las Vegas Strip. That's really important for everybody to know. It's not going to feel the same way. However, we are going to deliver a world-class event. We are going to deliver that. And those results that Brooke just talked about, those are the things that you're going to see year after year. Right now, we have a 10-year, basically, permit or permission from the county to continue this race. We have a long-term arrangement with LVCVA. Basically, we're bringing this town a Super Bowl every year. Every year. And the economic impact of that event should not be lost on all of us in this room. If Brooke ever lets me have the microphone back before we're done with the panel today, I will talk about the tax impacts. But let me just say this, $77 million in tax generation. $77 million in tax generation. 25 million of those dollars went directly to schools in our state. 22 million of it went to schools in Clark County.
That's incredible.
So I will leave it at that. We're really proud of what we were able to accomplish together last year, and I have a personal goal of making this an event that we all love, that we all are proud of, that we're on the world stage, and we are making a difference in bringing those international travelers back to Vegas.
Thank you, Betsy. All right, so Lisa, in thinking about all the comments that Betsy just made, can you tell us, when we're talking about planning these world-class seller events, what assets in our region help you when you're bidding for these large events to make them want to come to Vegas?
So I think Steve Hill says it correctly, right? Vegas sells itself. But let's be honest, it's a lot of work to sell ourselves. But everything we have here is fantastic. So when we pitched the Final Four, the compactness of our city, so everything in the Final Four will be in a 4-mile radius. So fun fact, I was just down at the Final Four, stayed in downtown Phoenix, had to take a bus an hour to get to Glendale, and then you get stuck there, and there's, you just lose the experience of being in the compactness. So I think the fact that we have constantly reinvested in the destination with the infrastructure gives us the opportunity to then put the Fan Fest, the West Hall. Obviously, the Final Four will be at Allegiant Stadium. So yes, we had the Fan Fest for Super Bowl at Mandalay Bay. We learned a lot. We don't know what we don't know. That was so congested to drive around that area. So us moving it down to the West Hall, Final Four said we want to be at Mandalay Bay, and we said, it makes it more citywide. We are funded by every hotel room tax, so we want to make sure it's citywide. And now with us partnering with Elon Musk and the Boring Company for the Vegas Loop, it's going to make it very easy for fans to get around. The Final Four footprint, we also pitched Thomas and Mack Center as the music festival, so we can do indoors and outdoors, which they've done in the past. It's actually the first time they would have a college, who's our host institution, involved, which makes sense. And again, Boring Company would go to that. We'd take over all of the assets that say, welcome Final Four fans. It's sustainability, it's zero-emission vehicles, gets everybody around town. So I think the infrastructure and the way we're set up is a big selling point. 320 days of sunshine is great. Mark, we did the Super Bowl bid, and we actually had to put in a contingency plan for snow because it snowed in Dallas the one year, and we're Googling, do we have ice scrapers here? I guess there's one up at Mount Charleston. The sun, the fact...
Those would be snow plows, just saying,
yes,
snow plows.
Sorry, and I'm from Minnesota, I should have known that.
Former city manager, I couldn't help it.
but here we are going, what is this? The fact that we have hotels, 150,000 hotel rooms, and 15 million square feet of meeting space, we've got something for every budget. So you can stay at Circus, or you can stay at Bellagio, whatever you desire. 900 flights coming in and out every week, so there's direct access for fans. It's just, we built this city, Rossi Rollencotter said it best. We're the only destination to evolve to host tourists, and every year we evolve. And we don't mind sharing our playbook with other destinations. We want every destination to be successful, because rising tides raise all ships.
Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. So something you mentioned was around infrastructure. So a question I have for you all, what type of infrastructure should our community prioritize to keep these events attractive? So Betsy, you mentioned some of the traffic hurdles that we all experienced with F1. Mark, you obviously, with your multi-billion-dollar project, you're going to be going into construction pretty soon here. And Lisa, we have to make sure that when we have the folks coming to our region that we're able to make them flow so you're not on a 1-hour bus ride through a city. So in all of your views, what should we be prioritizing as far as infrastructure? And I'll start with you, Lisa, and then we'll work our way this way.
Yeah, so selfishly, if somebody can build me an Olympic-sized pool and an indoor track, that is stuff that we could sell every single day of the week. We hit that youth and amateur. It's a midweek market. So for me, it's really focused more on that youth and amateur. Can't wait to program out your new venue, potentially the A's venue. So my priority is really more the youth and amateur. It's multi-billion-dollar. I think we've got a pretty strong handle on the new projects that are coming up for major sports.
Awesome.
Types
of infrastructure that we should prioritize.
Well, obviously, we need to continue to enhance our transportation. I mean, we're pretty good at transportation here. We take full advantage of federal funding that's available. That's actually one of the categories that we perform best in as a region. I do think that is a critical piece of the puzzle, but frankly, we probably also need to be thinking about the other infrastructure, the more social infrastructure that needs to be here, whether it's having housing choices, having a strong education system. All of those things build out that fabric that make us appealing, not only for the tourist, but for the companies that our tourist-based organizations need to have in our supply line. So, if we can build out that robust, community development moment, I do believe that we will be able to bring in huge supply line companies that will help us continue to grow and diversify our economy here.
Excellent.
I mean, there's not much to add to the two of them. I would echo transportation. Lisa mentioned the Boring Company, and the fact that it's actually in operation and about to expand should excite people, and there should be a lot of support for that. I know there's agendas of certain other people that might not want to see that take place, but that would be transformational for the 4-mile corridor, and we'll be 2.8 miles south of that 4-mile corridor, just if you want to use that for your next speaking gig. So I think the transportation investment, and I don't want to say Vegas is spoiled, that's the wrong way to say it. Vegas doesn't realize how forward-thinking they sometimes are, and coming from California, and how reactive that market was when you see how much investment. I know it's disruptive, and I know people don't like it, but there's a lot of work that's done in advance of the growth that's expected here. So yes, as residents, we all have to put up with it, but at least it's being done, and it's being done ahead of time. But the Boring Company excites me, and then I think to piggyback on Betsy, there's a real lack of quality health care. I think everybody knows that. There's some great health care here, but the city has grown so substantially, added 1 million people in the last 20 years, and the healthcare infrastructure is not kept up. And I know there's some initiatives to try and get around that and work through the legislation through it to attract more investment and more doctors. But as the city continues to grow, it's going to need it.
Excellent. So a question for all of you. Are there any untapped opportunities for innovation and collaboration with sports and entertainment as it relates to the real estate sector? So Betsy?
Well, it's interesting because I want to do some homework, and actually some of the folks that are in this room probably could help me with this. So we plopped in this 300,000 square foot building on Koval and Harmon. Some of you, I don't know, I'm going to give away my age a little bit, but there used to be a bar there called Drink, and then it was called Ice or something like that. I actually went there when I first moved here, just saying, so that puts the date on me, okay?
She was 5 when she went there.
Yeah, I was 5. I guess they weren't checking IDs at the time, but we totally redeveloped that area. It's redeveloping. And because of that investment, there's a lot of real estate around us now, whether it's the Siegel building down by Virgin or these vacant lots by the roadway on Las Vegas Boulevard. You've got Tuscany making reinvestments. You've got Ellis Island making reinvestments in their property, and many others. I think some of these signature investments actually lift a lot of other boats in ways that we didn't necessarily anticipate or identify on the way in. I think that's a really good thing for us. And so as we kind of build out this whole famed Las Vegas 4-mile strip, you see a lot of things happening. You've got Mark's project down the way. You've got the A's at Tropicana or around there. You've got us, a half a mile off of the strip and a half a mile off of Paradise right by the airport. There is so much opportunity for what I would describe in my old city manager parlance as redevelopment. Really invigorating an area that was sort of in between land, between the university and the famed Las Vegas Strip. And I think there's going to be a lot of development in that area as a result of our investment and others' investment in that area, and it's all coming to Commissioner Gibson and Commissioner Sagerblum's districts, and I think it's going to be a really fun thing to navigate, and it's going to require some investment, public investment around that. But hey, I think it's a really good problem to have. That's what these events should be doing. They should be catalyzing that kind of development.
Excellent. So I know that Mitch is in the audience, and I think Mitch is over, where is Mitch?
There's Mitch.
So Mitch works for LVGEA as well, and he is really tapped into the sports market. And I think to Mark's point about healthcare, I think from a real estate standpoint and attracting new businesses here, we really should focus on sports technology, sports health and wellness, build up more of the Lou Ruvo Center and all of that. And I think from a real estate standpoint, as Mitch gets more of these companies to come on board to Las Vegas, I think that offers a lot of opportunities for those in the real estate sector in this room. But
Excellent.
I think technology and health and wellness.
Thank you for mentioning that, Lisa. I'm glad you made the plug because I was going to do it shamelessly soon. So I do want to give a shout out to my colleague, Mitch Keenan. If you have not met him yet, he has been a phenomenal addition to the LVGEA team. Most of you have read about our Locate initiative that we had, bringing out 16 companies to show them the wonderful things that we all know and love about Southern Nevada. But Mitch was really the key in stewarding that entire initiative and helped us make it successful. And we'll be making some really exciting announcements pretty soon here about the jobs that we're looking to create and the companies that we're bringing here. So thank you. I was going to do it soon, but I'm glad you did.
Well, and the Locate was great. It was a great concept, and I was able to participate in that, so thank you for that. I actually received a thank you letter from one of the COOs that you guys entertained, telling me how excited he was about moving to Las Vegas and that we all took the time. So that's the beauty of Las Vegas, right? We come from a place of, yes, we generally like each other. We all help sell Vegas, but that Locate was a great concept.
Excellent.
It's still a concept.
Still a concept, sorry.
Still, yeah, Locate Part 2 coming soon. Part 2 coming soon. Fingers crossed. So in talking about bringing businesses here, Betsy, a question I have for you, and this is actually via Mitch, what are some of the types of businesses that our region can usher in to support F1 and helping you all be successful?
Well, I think Lisa hit on some of it. I've been talking to Larry Ruvo about some of their research and how we can work partnerships out going forward. F1 is very advanced on technology development. I'm still learning this. Okay, I'm only 3 months old, so I'm still learning a lot and will be for a while. But, a lot of technologies get experimented with at F1 through the engineering because the regulatory environment in the racing industry is much more relaxed than our traditional automotive industry regulatory framework. That creates a lot of opportunity to build out technology support for sports. So we've got a sports medicine moment. But frankly, we're building grandstands all across the valley. We're bringing in marshals to help manage this race to make sure that it meets the FIA standards. I'll just give you a small example. 600 marshals that we need to manage this race to make sure it's legit and following the rules. How many are from Vegas? Anybody? Zero. Bubkiss, 0. So we have to fix those things. Those are the kinds of jobs we can create. They may be the kinds of businesses that can be started as a result. We have a lot of vendors that we have to rely on from out of state because they're doing something here that hasn't traditionally been done here. That is an open opportunity for new businesses to start here because it will be cheaper for us because we would have local workforce delivering that product. So those are the kinds of things that I think we can continue to work and build out.
Thank you, Betsy. And hey, Mark, so in speaking of workforce, how can we anticipate this multi-billion-dollar integrated sports resort arena will impact our community, especially around jobs, create investment that are going to benefit the state?
I just wanted to thank her for throwing out Bubkiss. You asked permission to swear. She comes up with Bubkiss. Well,
Mark.
I was in a deposition yesterday, so can you repeat the question? No. I just got to get.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, multi-billion-dollar project coming up.
Yes.
What's the impact that we're going to see in jobs, investment, and how we're going to reinvest that back into the state?
Well, you have two forms of that, obviously, right? You have the massive amount of jobs in construction, and I think from a timing standpoint, we're going to ramp up right when there's going to be a need for some additional projects. There's obviously some in the marketplace right now, but from where our timing looks and where the largest percentage of construction jobs will line up well with what's going on in the market right now, and then the workforce on the property. And what's happened with this infrastructure and what makes Vegas different, obviously, is the now number of events that people in some of the union positions, culinary, IATSE, stagehands, all the people that work events, the more nights that they can have available, right? It's not a one-sport town or a two-sport town where they're hoping that they get pulled for the 80 dates of a baseball game or the 40 dates of a hockey team. They now have 300 to 400 events that they can essentially make a full-time job out of. And that, as this ecosystem and as the sports industry has grown, is a benefit that I don't think we'll probably have to hire Jeremy to put a number to it, just so we understand its growth and its impact on those workers. And then you start to talk about, once the project's up and running, what happens in the surrounding area and the accretive value for all the surrounding businesses. They mentioned the A's, and they're looking at doing a TIF district, right? And all the ancillary development that will sprout up is good for the county, right? If you look at Allegiant Stadium, and you were there 7 or 8 years ago, and you looked at what was in the surrounding neighborhood, there wasn't that much development. Frankly, I'm a little surprised that it hasn't grown faster, but I think there are things in the pipeline. But you look at what the Herbst family did on the corner of Polaris and Russell, and what they built there, that multi-use with the parking garage and the whiskey bar and the Starbucks. And that's going to drive a lot of economic activity. And right across the street, you have the In-N-Out Burger, and they turned that into a replica of the first In-N-Out Burger. So you're starting to see it. And so these projects have both that initial push with the initial jobs and the construction jobs, the ongoing construction, and then the value that they add to the surrounding real estate that maybe they have some control of and maybe other entrepreneurs take control of.
Excellent. So in thinking about, again, the real estate community, are there any emerging trends, and this is for all of you, are there any emerging trends that you all are seeing in sports and entertainment that our real estate developers can keep in mind as they're going to be collaborating with your entities for some of the projects coming down the pipeline? Lisa, I'll start with you.
Boy, from a trend standpoint, I don't have an answer for
That's
that
because
one.
we're the
Sorry.
trendsetters, and you guys are already doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I still would stick with the technology and health and wellness. I think those are the big emerging trends, but.
Okay. Yeah. Betsy?
I would just say, to kind of highlight some of the earlier comments, the level of investment that Oakview's making, that Las Vegas Grand Prix, Liberty Media, F1 have made in this town open a lot of doors. You're basically pioneering infrastructure that wasn't there, and you're creating a really fresh framework for people who come behind those levels of investment to take full advantage of, whether it's upping the game they already have or building something new. And I think that creates a lot of opportunity. I look around this room and I see so many creative people who have built this town, frankly. And I have no doubt that you all see an opportunity and you make it happen here. So you probably are the right ones to answer that question, not us, because you're the ones who are like, oh my gosh, I know how to take that and turn that into something magnificent. So I kind of turn that back on you as a what to do as we walk away. Think about how do you plug your clients, your businesses into this infrastructure, these investments that sports are making in this town to the highest and best use.
I'll give you two examples. One, there's been an incredible amount of consolidation in the sports and entertainment industry. And what I mean by that is if you go back 20 or 30 years, you would have, in most cases, a municipality build a building and own it. They'd hire a company to run it. There'd be teams, maybe multiple teams as tenants. There'd be a food and beverage operator. There'd be so many, just call it subs. And now you're seeing, whether it's teams, private equity, even leagues themselves, starting to bring a lot of that in-house. It's obviously what the company that I work for now is doing, but there's a lot of examples of that. And what does that translate to real estate is you're seeing massive projects that incorporate all these different subcategories within it. And in Vegas, you're talking about, we're still in the fertile ground of that growth trajectory for sports and entertainment investment. And obviously in the position that I'm in, everybody's come in and wants to talk about sports projects, right? It's not just baseball, basketball, soccer. And so Vegas has an opportunity because everyone needs a footprint here, right? You talked about F1, it's now, I don't know if it is the global headquarters, but we're just going to call it that now.
People
from
call
today
it
on.
that, so
So right, so we have the
Yes.
global headquarters
Global
for F1.
headquarters.
You have global
take
headquarters
it.
for
I could get
UFC.
fired for that, just saying.
And they've
London
all,
might not like it.
they've all been successful. So if you're in that industry and you're looking around, you're like, I've got to have some presence here. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe I don't know what it is yet, but I've got to have a presence here. And it's why people are looking to make mass investments here. I think the other trend you're seeing, and it's relatively new, but it's really exploded in the last couple of years, is the growth of women's sports. And not just basketball, but soccer, and you're starting to see volleyball and other verticals, and people are finally watching. And that's the real tipping point. I mean, I think everybody saw the stories this week that the women's game outdrew the men's game. That's a massive development, right? It's getting a lot of attention. It's going to start to attract a lot of money, right? Franchise values are going to explode. Investments in facilities have already started. Those are going to explode. You're seeing teams. One of the things in consolidation is team owners have bought multiple teams, right? You get economies of scale. You can have your strength of your major league executive team and sales staff help with some additionals. You saw NFL teams buy MLS teams, like a lot of examples. But now you're seeing a lot of the titans of sports buying women's teams, women's soccer teams, women's basketball teams, women's volleyball teams, and the valuations are stratospheric compared to where they were. So that's going to lead to new facilities, whether they're new facilities for them to play in or new facilities for practice. And the practice facilities are another trend, and it's been around for a while, but it's now something that everybody is catching up on, which is, call it the Star at Frisco for the Cowboys, or what the Vikings have done, or Patriot Place, what the Raiders have planned for Henderson. All those growth opportunities where you have this anchor tenant. Sports is sexy, people want to be surrounded by it. So those real estate plays are really valuable. And sometimes people think that it's a corporate handout, and I'll stand up here any day of the week and say, you can call it that, but the amount of investment that the sports teams make, and then what happens in that surrounding area, the return on investment is greater than you'll get anywhere else.
Excellent. So, Mark, I want to ask you another question. This
Okay.
one's a little juicy. All right.
Uh-oh. This is the tough
Yeah,
part of the day.
we know what
I'm
this
actually
is.
starting with you on this one, Mark.
Do you think Las Vegas is more poised for a relocated team or an expansion team?
Oh.
Juicy enough?
Everybody turn around. You see the guy standing in the back wall over there?
Hi, Mick.
That's Mick Akers from the Review-Journal. So I'm going to tread lightly here, but we got like 300 or 400 people here, right? So we'll do our own little focus group. What do you have to be considered a local? Like how many years do you have to be here
Like
before?
10? 4.
All right, well, I've been here 5, so I'm going to dismiss you, and I'm going to say, anyone, how many people have been here longer than 5 years? Okay, most of the room. How many people in any sport, we're not going to carry this, we'll do it by applause. How many would rather have expansion? And how many would rather have relocation? Take this and
All right, Mike.
I guess if I had heard that 7 years ago, I wouldn't have a job. Look, I think it's all case dependent, right? Relocating a team is hard. It's very, very challenging. What happened with the Raiders was...
You made it look so easy.
Thanks. Well, yeah. What happened with the Raiders was a unicorn in terms of timing, in terms of how it worked out, in terms of the departure from Oakland and the reception we got here. But it did take a lot of work. It's challenging in any sport, not just what's going on here. So they have a lot of work to do. They know it. But I think ultimately baseball will be very successful here, and I think Vegas should be very proud of the deal they put together. Because there's an entire industry of experts and consultants who like to dump all over it and say that you should never do a sports project. And I think in this town, we can affirmatively say that that's garbage. You can't find anybody that will say that the investment in Allegiant Stadium wasn't worth it, and that the return on investment hasn't been positive. Just in the live entertainment tax alone, and just the numbers that even the casual observer could point to in terms of what Allegiant has done for this market, more than covers the debt service. And keep in mind, it was a tourist tax, right? And it was 88 basis points. So what's the average daily room rate? Like 170 bucks, 150? I don't know what it is. So it's, I don't know, $1.25 per room. So you're telling me that the people that come to town are like, oh man, I just paid an extra $1.25. I'm not going to go to Peter Luger's for steak because of that extra $1.25. Nobody cares, right? So that's going to pay for the stadium, and then all the economic benefit that was derived from that. So, boy, I really got off track here.
You did really good.
I think
the audience answered the question.
I think in terms of, I think Vegas can handle either, right? And it's already shown that. It's had a number of new teams. It's had a number of expansion teams. I mean, the Aces were a relocated team, rebranded, so you could call that a hybrid. And they've all been successful, but it's not easy and it's not a gift. And you can't just show up and think they're going to throw money at you and throw adulation on you. You got to work at it. So whether it's expansion or whether it's relocation, they better ingratiate themselves to this community. They better do the right thing. They better spend some money and not focus purely on thinking that they're just getting instant profits because they just showed up magically in the desert. It's not how it works.
Sure. All right, y'all, before we go into Q&A, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. Lisa, we're going to start with you.
Oh, great.
What's your favorite stadium or arena snack? Snack.
Oh, I'm a hot dog girl.
Hot dog?
Hot dog.
All right, like, are we talking like onions, mustard?
I'm plain. I'm afraid of ketchup. There's something else you don't know about me.
Okay. Lisa's afraid of ketchup.
Yep. Salt that's my thing.
Good
Salt.
to know. All right. Betsy, favorite arena snack?
Gotta be the pretzel.
Yeah. Pretzel.
Yeah, baby. Have a little mustard. Got it going. Let's go.
All right. Mark?
Same.
Pretzel?
Yeah.
Okay. Before Las Vegas had all of our stellar teams, who's your favorite? Oh, well. Who's your favorite sports team?
Next.
Betsy.
Braves.
Braves, okay.
Yeah.
Georgia girl.
I'm a Denver Broncos fan, which Mark knows. Yeah.
Do you also have a Denver Broncos tattoo?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I am thinking about getting a Welcome to Las Vegas sign, you know.
How's it take from Minnesota to become a Denver Bronco fan?
Okay, so I'm a girl, so I'm going to excuse that. So I grew up in a household that did not like the Vikings because my grandfather lost a bet. So we got to pick our own team, and I liked the 49ers, Joe Montana, but I was not a Steve Young fan, and I was 8 years old, and Joe Montana did a Diet Pepsi commercial with John Elway, and I became a Broncos fan.
Boom. Boom, boom.
Very logical.
Okay.
All right.
Glad you asked.
So I don't know if we want to skate by this. Did y'all just hear Lisa say that she's thinking about getting a Welcome to Las Vegas sign tattooed on her body? Like, I don't want to just like over that. We should make it a fundraiser. Maybe if we raise like so much money,
I'm
Lisa
good at
has
this.
to tattoo. Are you down?
Yeah, as long as it goes to the charity. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Perfect.
We're gonna do
You can
it.
go to your charity. Sure.
All right. Let's do it.
Oh, my.
TikTok it.
So last deal, before we go into Q&A, what's your favorite sport to watch and why? Well,
In
Mark.
person or on television?
Thank you for asking that. In person.
You're welcome. Wow, in person, I really like boxing. I mean, I hate to sound like an old guy, but I grew up watching Wilder Sports, and I loved the pageantry and what competitive championship boxing meant. And then when I got to Vegas, I got to go to my first heavyweight fight. And obviously, I've had the fortune of going to a lot of sporting events. I've never been anything like that. I've never seen the excitement, the activity, and people dressed up, and just the anticipation. Then you walk through the vomitory into the arena, and the lights are on, and you see the ring, and it was an amazing experience. I really, really enjoyed it, and I've had a chance to go a number of times. Dallas Hahn, who's the head of the athletic commission, is a friend, and he's brought me to a couple of events. And it's still a bit of an old school industry, right? It's pretty fractured. There's a lot of different companies, so it's not commoditized. It's not the same sporting event that you see in a lot of places, and so it just feels a little bit like a throwback to me.
Okay.
And I really enjoy the live boxing events here.
Betsy?
It's the Aces.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, those games are so exciting. I mean, I've been involved in sports. I was an athletic trainer at the University of Georgia. When I was going through school, I love sports, always have. I'll tell you what, going to those games, those women are incredible. And what's really fun about being in person for that is what you see off camera. What they're saying to each other under the basket, what's happening off ball that you never see on television coverage is so exciting. Their expressions, what they're saying to each other, it is so fun to watch these incredible women perform live here in our town. I just love that. That's my fave.
Same.
I am a UFC girl. Thank you. Watching it on TV is completely different than in person. And when you are in person, I mean, the mad respect for the art of mixed martial arts. I mean, this is really something that's historic. So UFC 300 is this weekend. It's sold out, but pay-per-view. That's a plug for Vegas. And I just love what UFC has done here too, with everything at the Performance Institute and now Apex and Growth. But UFC in person, yeah, that's my jam.
Excellent. So Mark and Lisa enjoy watching people get beat up. Yeah. Good to know. All right, so we'll open it up for Q&A.
Thank
Mr.
you very
Sutlin,
much.
Close by.
Betsy, Liberty Media just texted me and they said F1 is your favorite sport to watch in person.
I
and
thought
on
about
TV.
that, Dan. Thank you. Hey, Mick, for the record, F1's my favorite sport, okay?
And then Rod Martin and Tom Van Betten and I'd like to do a moment of silence for the drink and the boogie nights and the open race. Meant a lot to us. Marc Badain, what is the construction timeline for the Oakview Arena and surrounding developments?
I can't give you a direct answer. I know that when we break ground, the arena will probably take between 27 and 31 months. So when we have a groundbreaking date, we'll alert it.
The brokerage community is asking LVCVA and the LVGA, how do they get paid and bring business or do business with your companies? Brooke, you can answer it.
How do they get paid?
How can they do business with the LVGVA?
Call us. Mitch, stand up, raise your hand. Where'd he go?
Oh, he left. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, so LVGEA, our work does not happen without you. Without you all in this room, I cannot do my job. Mitch cannot do his job. So call us. I lead fundraising, so if you are able and willing to support our work, absolutely. But in order for us to attract companies to come to this region, we need your expertise, we need your knowledge, we need your insight, and we are ready to partner with you all. So reach out to myself, reach out to my colleague Mitch. We are ready to work with you all.
Yeah, and that's not in my wheelhouse.
Was that CVA or GEA? See, I told you that we get confused.
The question was for both.
Okay.
And if there's more questions from the audience, please pass them back. Betsy, can you tell a little more about the 10-year permit and how long F1's going to be here with that big investment?
Yeah, so the county authorized through a resolution, which is not unusual, but they've done it for Marathon and others, a 10-year authorization to be able to use the roads. every year we have to go back and present our transportation plan, we have to present our special use permit, all those things. So there's stuff that goes along with that. But we've made a major investment here. We spent over $500 million on infrastructure and buildings. And so we want this to be at least 10 years. We're working very hard with LVCVA to make this a destination event for our market. I mean, we attracted 20% of the people that attended the event last year were international travelers. That's more than double what we normally have here. We need to double that number because that's what Steve and the LVCVA board, Commissioner Gibson, Commissioner Naft, and others want to see happen as a result of races and events like ours, that we're bringing net new visitors to town. We had over 145,000 net new visitors. So that was their first exposure to us. That's powerful. And if we can keep that going, that's going to keep heads in beds for other reasons. People will come back and say, oh, I didn't have time, I was at the race. I want to come back and I want to spend 3 days at the Bellagio because I want to be able to experience this, that, or the other. I want to go to a basketball game. I want to go to an A's baseball game. I want to do these things that only Vegas can deliver. That's how all this ecosystem works. So that's how the 10-year plan works. We've invested heavily, Dan, and we want to stay here and make this a premier Las Vegas event.
My friend from North Las Vegas, Jared Luke, just brought this up, that Mark, if you built in North Las Vegas, you would already have your permits and your groundbreaking. With Commissioner Gibson in the room, no less. This is great stuff. Brooke, do you have any questions that you still want to ask?
No. Well, so I have one last question that we can wrap up with, which is around each of your entities. What's the lasting impact or legacy that LVCVA, F1, and Oakview Group hope to have on our community and its residents?
I mean, we've been around since 1955, so I think Steve Hill coins the phrase of category of one, and that's what Vegas is, and that is our legacy. We don't actually, when we're bidding against stuff, I don't care who we're bidding against. Vegas is Vegas, right? Like, so I think our legacy is to just leave the world a better place and be a category of one.
I think we're taking full advantage of our sports and entertainment investment. I mean, our state, this community has invested billions. Private companies have invested billions to make this work here. This is a diversification moment for us, and I think we take full advantage of it. And it's going to create a much stronger, more resilient economy for us as a result. Many of you know me. I mean, I'm big on economic development. I've been on the LVGEA board for a long time, worked on redevelopment projects that have had lasting impact. We need that because we need to be recession-proof. You may say, Betsy, you can't really be recession-proof. But let me tell you, we need to get back to the days where we were last in, first out in recessions. The last 2 recessions, that has not been the case. That is not okay for us. We have to diversify. Sports and entertainment is the next plateau that we've achieved. We need to build on it and build out from it to diversify further.
Someone mentioned that Vegas evolves and that evolution continues. I guess our company would like to be a really big part of that evolution and build a new venue and a new entertainment and retail and integrated casino and resort district that continues that evolution. And you're seeing investment heading south, and we're pretty bullish on what we'll call the South Strip going all the way down. The Stations casinos have some pretty big expansion plans down there. The M is building another tower. You have the Bright Line train that's about to get underway. So the area south of Mandalay is ripe for a lot of growth. And so we're very excited to be a part of that.
Excellent. Excellent. Can we get a round of applause for our awesome panelists today? Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining us. And I want to thank Cassie for having me and Sabrina Borgoff. I know she's out today, but watching virtually, and Dan for reaching out to me to be a part of this. This has been such a pleasure to sit here with you all this morning, and I look forward to working together. together with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Another great panel. Really, thank you very much. And yes, I will try to use the word bupkis all day today at work, so thank you for that. So yes, in closing, thank you again to our speakers, amazing panel, our breakfast meeting sponsor, Southland Industries, and to all of you for attending today. If you're attending via Zoom, please take a moment for the survey at the end. And hopefully we will see you in May, a week later, Thursday, May 23rd, right here at the Orleans. Until then, be well, stay safe, and have a great day.